Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Revti. If you're new here, I'm an international student who has now graduated. I came here in 2022 of January, and yeah, now it's been almost 3 years of me being here and living here permanently. So yeah, if you want to follow on my journey, then keep watching and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So in this video, as you might have read by the title and by the thumbnail, I'm going to be sharing my emergency room experience. Actually, I was pregnant last year at this time, around this time, and yeah, I had to go to the emergency room. And if you want to know how the experience was, why I went, and all of that, then keep watching. And without any further ado, let's just get right away into the video. So yeah, so I actually found out, I think I was pregnant in August or something around in August, I think, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, so my first trimester had started, and oh my God, I was so miserable. I cannot even tell you how miserable I was, and my misery was because of my health, not mentally, but because I was not healthy physically. Of course, it affected my mental health as well, but I'll talk about that later. So I got pregnant, and yeah, my first trimester started, and it was a ride of hell, literally. I'm not exaggerating. That's how I felt. That's what happened to me. And around that same time in the beginning, when we found out I was pregnant, my mother-in-law also got extremely sick, like serious sick. It was not like, cold and cough. She had a brain injury, and, she was in the ICU and all of that. And yeah, I had made a life update video, and I'll put the thumbnail here so you can see. And I could not talk about my pregnancy back then because I was pregnant, and it was my first trimester, and I did not want to share it with anybody. I was not ready. So given the fact that I was in my first trimester and I just got pregnant, and my mother-in-law was sick, and so my husband had to go to Nepal, and I cannot leave the country due to my visa process. So I cannot leave the country. So I could not go with my husband, and I had to stay in the US all by myself alone, which was really miserable, especially given that I was pregnant. And I've said this almost about 100 times by now, but yeah, because I was, of course, and I was also sick because of that. So the thing is, with first trimester, I had morning sickness that lasted all day. I could not be able to eat. So the beginning first 3 to 4 months, I could not eat at all. Plus I would vomit whole day. I would vomit. I could not eat, and I was just so much in pain. Literally, while brushing, the brushing would trigger the vomiting, and I would puke. So even the normal act of brushing would make me puke. So yeah, that had become my life for the first 3-4 months, and I could not be able to eat at all. And in that hard time, I was alone emotionally, mentally, and physically. And yeah, my husband had to go, otherwise he wouldn't leave me in such a bad time. So physically, I was really very, 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 like, body wise dehydrated, everything. So I had checked, I called my my doctor, and my doctor said, you need to go to the emergency room, because it had been 2 days continuously, 2 to 3 days, that I was vomiting every day, but specifically these 2 to 3 days, my vomiting would not stop, even for water. Like, at least the other times, whenever I was vomiting, whenever I vomited, I didn't vomit water, but the water was at least getting digested. But these 2 days, 2 to 3 days in specific, the water that I drank also was coming right out. So basically, neither food nor water, no liquid, nothing. I could keep it down in my stomach. So I called my doctor, and my doctor said, you need to go to the emergency room. I googled in the Google, like, they said that if you're dehydrated, you should, and you can't keep the fluids down in your stomach, then you need to go to the emergency room. So I went to the emergency room. Now, I had to book a cab to go to the emergency room, given the fact that I didn't have energy at all, even to drive myself to the hospital. That is exactly how bad it was. Like, I didn't have any energy to go to the hospital, so I booked the cab. I went to the hospital, and I'm the kind of person, who doesn't like bothering other people. I will not ask for favor. I will not say, that I need you, can you come with me to the hospital. I'm not that kind of person. I will die alone, but I will not ask help from anyone. Literally, I've always been this kind of a person, and I don't think people should be like that. You should definitely ask when you need help, but I am that kind of person. I will not now, not in the future, never. So yeah, I will never ask anybody for help, even if I need and I'm dying. And in that moment, it felt like I was almost gonna die. It was that. I'm not exaggerating, guys. I am not. If you're gonna get pregnant and it happens to you, maybe I hope it doesn't happen to you, because this happens to only, I don't know the percentage, statistically speaking, I don't know, but some women go through it, some women don't go through it. Some women's pregnancies are smooth like butter, but it didn't happen for me. I guess I was the unlucky one, so I don't wish that upon you. But if you've gone through this, then you will know probably. Otherwise, you might think I'm just exaggerating. But anyways, I had to go to the emergency room because my doctor said, and so yeah, I booked the cab, I went, and now starts the experience. Now, this was the worst experience of all time. I thought once you go to the emergency room, they will take you right away and treat you right away. So no, they did not. They took my details, and they made me sit for 10-15 minutes. After 10-15 minutes, then they took me inside, and there's a small place. It wasn't even a room. It was like, there were just they put something around me, so it's just me sitting on the chair, like this kind of a chair, and that's it. And I was like this, like I didn't have the energy at all. And so first, when they just came. Then they took my blood samples. They told me to give my urine sample, and since I was pregnant, they took me to do my ultrasound test to make sure that the baby is fine. So this all took about 3 to 4 hours. Okay, now, so when they took me to ultrasound, one hour they took only to do ultrasound, which was the worst thing. This person, I think, was a new nurse, so she was learning. So, and they did my intravaginal ultrasound. So they put the rod kind of thing inside my vagina, and for 1 hour she's just rotating inside to see the baby and all that. Like, now if somebody knew what they were doing, it would only take 10-15 minutes, but she kept doing that for an hour, and I was so mad. I was so agitated. At that point, I was like, if this keeps on going for another 5 minutes, I'm gonna yell at her. And that is exactly when my breaking point was like. But anyway, she stopped after an hour, and I literally was patient for an hour. Can you believe somebody putting that thing in your vagina, and you have to be like that for an whole hour, especially when you're sick? You're literally sick. So anyway, she kept doing that. I was so mad inside, like, the blood was boiling inside me, and I was like, oh my god, what the fuck, and so anyways, that after the ultrasound, then again they took me and they gave me some tablet, and that's it. And then I was lying on this chair like this, lying down on the chair. I could lie down, and that's it. I'm like this, and they did not do anything. Now see, if this was the situation in India, the first thing that they would do is give me saline. This woman has been vomiting, hasn't had any food, nothing, and you're not gonna give her anything? Like, what the actual fuck, right? Like, you're supposed to give her some medicine, something to keep her to get her hydrated, to give her something to eat. Nothing of that sort. They're just doing their tests, and that's it. And they let me stay unattended for like 6-7 hours went by like this. Okay, and then finally, at the end they came and put that saline, and then that's it. After the saline, they again gave me medicine, and they said you can go, and that is it. Now, a woman who came in for dehydration, who has been vomiting and who is so sick, the first thing you would want to do is to make her feel relief. You would give her, saline, make her hydrated, basically make her body energetic, right? That's what the point is. Instead, they did all these tests and whatnot, and they took my blood and whatnot, and then the doctor just came once or twice to say, "Are you doing okay?" Just verbally, he asked me rest the whole time. The nurse might have removed the blood and that, and then the nurse did the ultrasound, and that's it. The doctor did not do anything. He just came once or twice, just asked me verbally, "Are you doing fine?" And that is it. Now in India, the doctor would come, he would do the whole work, he would be like, doing the ultrasound. Maybe I don't know, I'm guessing. Now I've never done before ultrasound, so I don't know, but I'm expecting, yeah, in India the ultrasound mainly the doctors would only do, and then after that also the doctor will put saline and make sure that I've had the saline first. So that's what Indian healthcare system puts the treatment first, and then all this procedural things later. So yeah, and the thing is, now if I was in India, I would have my own personal doctor, that one doctor who I would see throughout my whole 9-month period, and he would give that care which would feel more personal. So but here in America it was not like that. I felt no personal relationship with the doctor throughout my pregnancy. Although of course the main pregnancy was really good, like they took care of me, but those appointments and all I did, and they answered all my questions, but I just didn't feel that personal thing. Whereas in India, my mother has her own gynecologist that she's been going for 20 years, and there's a personal relationship you feel there, and he would personally make sure that I feel better first, and then do whatever is required later. But yeah, so that was the worst experience ever in emergency room. Like I went in, like emergency room in itself, the word, what does it mean? You will get treated right away when you go in the room, right? But no, they did my treatment but the first 6-7 hours they just kept doing all just procedural stuff, nothing that was of utmost importance. So I was really very sad. I was like literally lying down like a dead body, and I was not taken care of at all the whole 7 to 8 hours. So I spent in the emergency room. I was all alone. Now my friend had asked if she coincidentally texted me that same day, and she was like, "Do you want me to come?" And I was like, "No, I don't want you to come. I don't want to trouble her, because like I'm lying here like a dead body. I won't be able to do anything, and she'll just have to sit. Then why, if she's just going to sit, there's no point of her coming." So I was like, "Don't worry about it." And yeah, I did not let her come either. So I went through such a hard time in my life all by myself, and that just made me stronger. And yeah, I've never needed anybody. I don't need anybody now. I never will need anybody. I can go through it all by myself. And coming to the US, moving here has made me, I was always very independent, and I never needed anyone emotionally, mentally, but now I don't at all need anybody. Even if my husband's there or not, I've got myself. I don't need nobody, no family, no relative, nobody. So that's one superpower. I feel that I've become this person where I really don't need anybody. If you are there, that's fine. If you're not, I don't really need, or I'm gonna be fine either way. I don't need anybody's support emotionally, mentally, or physically. I've got myself. So 15 days of my life, when I was so sick, I was all by myself, and I took care of me. And yeah, that's when my mother came after 15 days. But I lived here all by myself. That was the first time, and lived by myself when I was sick. So yeah, what doesn't kill you definitely makes you stronger. And the fact that I don't need anybody just makes me feel really very powerful. I'm going to be very, very, very honest. I've always been like this, and now I've become even more. So now it's just I've hit all the bars of being independent and of not needing anybody, and it just makes me feel powerful. That's it, because I've seen my mother. She's the kind of person who'll be sad, who'll be like, I need somebody. But looking at my mother, I always knew I don't want to be like that. I don't want to have to need anybody, not even my husband, not even anybody to take care of me. Or I can, if I'm sick, I'll take myself. I don't need anybody. So anyways, that's how I always wanted to be, and I'm glad the situation has made me like that. But my husband is really good, of course. If he was here, he would take care of me, he would be there for me, and it would be perfect. But he couldn't be there due to important reasons, which I get. So, but I'm just saying, it's always better that you don't, you become the person that you don't need anybody. And you should not, I don't like taking favors from any relative or anybody. I'm not going to be anybody. I just, all my life, whenever I've been sick, I'll take myself to the hospital, to the doctor. I don't need anybody all my life. So I've studied out, I've been out, I've lived away from home, and I would rather go by myself than ask for help. That's it. Anyways, that was my emergency room experience, and that definitely made me remember and miss my Indian healthcare system, because it's different back at home. But now this is my home, and yeah, now I have to just get used to this. And yeah, these are the times that you remember your home, your home country, and yeah, you just value it even more. And although both places have their own pros and cons, but yeah, it would definitely be in India. Healthcare is more approachable. I do not need to take an appointment. If I'm sick, I'll just go right away. The doctor will be my family friend, and he will help me right away. So that accessibility is only and will always be only in India. I don't think it will ever be here. But yeah, I'm gonna be used to it. And yeah, that was my emergency room experience. Tough times make you even more tougher, and I'm grateful that I learned from this experience and I came out better and stronger. So I hope you don't ever have to go to the emergency room ever. I hope your I hope your health is always good. And yeah, I hope you never have to see the face of emergency room. And all the people back in India, let me tell you, you are lucky, really lucky. But anyways, yeah, so having said that, that was my experience, and I hope you got to know a little bit about how the healthcare is here, and you got to learn something, and hope it was useful. And it's not always that bad, so don't get scared. If you're in America and you're pregnant, don't get scared. My other thing, there are many other pros, but this was just one bad experience, and I just want to shed light on that particular experience. But if you watched my pregnancy, my birth video, you would know that my birth experience was extremely good. So yeah, it's not all bad here. If this video makes you feel that, no, it's not. I just want to say there are some pros and cons, but even of Indian healthcare, there'll be some pros, some cons. It's just the fact that it's not easily accessible here in America is what I don't like. But yeah, other than that, it's all good. So I hope this video was helpful or entertaining or whatever you may take from this video. And if it was, then don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you're thinking why I'm holding this phone like this, I'm actually using my husband's phone as a mic. I want to see the audio quality, like what difference does that make. So this is just like acting as a mic. So in case if you're wondering why I'm holding this. So yeah, with that said, I'll see you in my next video. I hope you found something in this video, and yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. I'm saying this for like the 100th time, but anyways, bye.